Hello, my name is Laura Dominguez and I am going to be showing you how to create this text effect. So start off by creating a new file, hit Control N, and you are going to have the dimensions of 7 by 4.5, a resolution of 300, and your color mode is going to be RGB. So create that. And you're going to fill your background layer with black, so Alt backspace that. Go to your text tool and type out VHS, and I'm going to go back and change the color of this. We're going to change it to like a blue-purple color. It's too purple. There you go. And if you're wondering, I am using Elite Danger in 150 point. However, you can use basically any text. Yeah, it's fun to use. And we're going to go and double click to the right of the name, and we're going to change the layer style. So go hit Inner Glow. You're going to change the blend mode to screen. Opacity is 75%. Your color is going to be white, that's fine. Technique is precise. Your source is going to be edge. Your choke is 65%. Size is 2 pixels, and you can leave the quality alone. It's the default settings. And you're going to click on Outer Glow next. Your blend mode is still going to be screen. Opacity is going to be 100%. Your color is going to be a deep blue, like so. Again, I just shifted it over on the color wheel. Your technique is going to be precise. Your spread is going to be 20. Your size is going to be 20. And then again, your defaults for the quality. I'm going to collapse that now, and I'm going to duplicate this 3 times. So Control J 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to stagger these above each other. So with the Move tool, hold Shift and shift directly up the next layer and lower that by 25% each time. So that's too much. Just talking. So now we're going to do the next layer, stagger it up. That one will be 50%. And last one, shift it up, and that's going to be 25%. Alright, and we're going to create a composite of this, so just select all of them, select the top one, and select the bottom one by holding Shift, and hit Control E. It's now one composite layer, and we're going to rename this as Text OG. And we're going to put that into a folder now, and we're going to name the folder Text. So, now we're going to duplicate this layer 2 times. So Control J 1, 2. On Text OG copy, we're going to name it Text Blue. We're going to go into Layer Style again and deselect Red on channels. Hit OK. And with the Move tool, we're going to shift this over, nudge it with our right arrow key 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're going to go into Text OG copy 2, and we're going to rename it Text Red. Do the same thing, go into the Layer Style. This time though, we're going to be deselecting green and blue. So now we have maroon, alright? And now we're going to shift this over with our Move tool and our left arrow key 10 times. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? And so now we're going to create a composite of this, however we want to keep the original layers. So hide the background layer, select the layers you want to merge together, and do a Control Alt Shift E, and I'm going to duplicate that layer now. So I'm going to turn that back on. On layer 1, the first layer that we, the composite layer that we just made, we're going to rename it as Text Wind. We're going to change, and we're going to go into Filter, Stylize, Wind. We're going to use the method as Wind, and from the right is fine. And you're going to duplicate that by doing an Alt Control F. And now we go into Layer 1 Copy, rename it as Text Lines, and we are going to go into, make sure you're in your default colors, by the way. You're going to go into Filter, Filter Gallery. You're going to go into Sketch right here, Halftone. Size is going to be 3, contrast is 0, your pattern type is going to be line, hit OK. You're going to change this layer blending mode to darken. your opacity is going to be to 85%. So you're going to see the line still, and you're going to see the color going through. So now we're going to create a composite of all these again. Hide the background layer once more and select all the layers and do a Control Shift Alt E, and we're going to rename this as text final, and we're going to make a selection off of this actually. So hit Control and the icon of that layer. There should be dancing ants around, and we can turn on the background layer just to make it easier. We're going to create a new layer, still in the text group though, and we're going to rename it Glow. And we're going to fill that up with white, so Control Backspace, and we're going to deselect our selection. Open up the layer style, so double click, go into Outer Glow. We're going to change the color to white now, and we're going to go into softer for the blend mode. Your spread is going to be 1%, 15 pixel for your size. Your contour is going to be sawtooth now, and your range is going to be 100%, while your jitter is going to be 20. There you go. So hit OK, and now we have an outline around that. So we're done with the text group for now. So let's create a new group. Let's call this one Bars, and I'm going to do this really quickly and simply, so if it looks a little funky later, that's why. And you want this underneath the text group, by the way. That's why I'm struggling to put it underneath. So now, first layer in the Bars group, I'm just going to call Bars again. And you're going to select like a red, and you're going to use a brush, hopefully one that has 1% spacing and a hardness of 100%. There you go. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger now. I'm going to go into cyan, do that, magenta now, and we'll put in some black in there too. Yellow. I'm going to do a little bit more yellow, and I'm going to do this blue as the final piece right here. There you go. So now you're going to go into Filter, go into Noise, add Noise. You're going to change the amount to 80%. You can keep the distribution as uniform and hit OK. Again, go back into Filter, go into Wind this time. So Stylize, Wind, and you're going to change the method to Blast and keep it as from the right. And you're going to duplicate that. So Control Alt F, get a little bit more of that. Next, you are going to change. Not change. You're going to add another filter. You're going to go to Distort this time under Filter, go to Wave, and mine's already set up like this, but all you have to do is change the number of generations or generators to 1. Wavelength is 200. Max of wavelength is 600. Amplitude minimum is 400. Amplitude maximum is 900. Your scale is 10% on the horizontal and 1% on vertical. Your type is going to be square. And you're going to do a wraparound for the undefined edges, and you can just randomize this to your liking. You can just click that button until you like whatever you see. So hit OK, and it's going to do that. Now after this, you're going to create a new you're going to create an adjustment layer. So go into Adjustments, hit Vibrance. You're going to hit -80 for the vibrance and -50, if I could do that right, -50 for the saturation. Create a new layer above that, and you're going to call this gradient. So now going into your gradient tool, make sure you're in your default colors, except you want white as your foreground, black as your background. You're going to use the radial gradient, drag from the center to the corner, like that. And you are going to change this to the layer blending mode of this layer to linear burn, and change it to 85%. No, I'm sorry, 80%. Alright. So now we are done with this. Now you're going to create another group above bars, and you're going to name this one Black BG for black background. And create a new layer. Fill this with black, but you're going to name the layer Noise. So Control backspace because we're in foreground now. And you're going to go to filter, noise, add noise. This time only add about 55% on the amount. It's still going to be uniform though. Hit OK. And you're going to create a new layer above this. Call it Black Stripes. And you're going to fill it with black too. So Control B, or Control backspace, and you're going to go into your brush now. I'm sorry, you're going to create a layer mask on this, and with your brush on black as your foreground, you're going to erase some of the black and create some lines. So I'm going to do this really quickly. Again, it's a little bit of a process if you want to make it look exactly how I wanted to see it. And again, vary the weight of the lines and where you put them on the screen. But yeah, that's essentially how you do that. You can close this now, and you're going to change the layer blending mode for the whole group to saturation. And I'm going to change the opacity down to about like 80%. No, maybe like 50. I'm going to do 80. I'm going to do 80. Okay, so now after this, you're going to go back into your text layer, and you're going to go onto text final, and you're going to duplicate this, and I'm going to call this stagger, and all you're going to do is use the marquee tool to highlight some of the text, and you're going to use the move tool now and your arrow keys to stagger it a little bit. So Control D that, and you can do as much as you want or as little as you want. It's really up to how much you want to put into it. And I think I found that if you go over the same area and stagger it a little bit more, possibly in the opposite direction, but just a smaller amount of it being staggered, it can look pretty cool, and it'll look a lot better and a lot more distorted. So Control D and marquee again, and we're going to select a little bit more up here, and move tool, stagger, Control D, and essentially that's the effect you get. Again, my colors are a little bit different from before just because of how different they're laid out, but you can always just go in and change your colors up, change the effects that you put on it, and change the blending modes too. Alright, thank you for watching this tutorial. Bye bye.